Good morning. Welcome to one of our first new sessions of the new year. We are now January 23 and the 16th. This is the first open call introduction for the SecurIT project that we will be doing this year. Welcome to all of you. Next session is going to introduce what the SecurIT activities are all about, and basically also giving a bit of a story from one of the open call participants and one of the ongoing projects demonstrators for the first open call series. But before we do this, let me give you a quick introduction on who we are and what it is that we are aiming to do here. So in any case, thank you very much for your interest. With SecurIT and SecurIT-project, we are aiming to facilitate access to funding for demonstrators, for activities in terms of setups of projects, and also in the development of new collaborations between cybersecurity companies and security companies throughout Europe. But basically, any innovative company that wishes to start developing new technologies in the domain of infrastructure security and related. My name is Ulrich Saldesacht. I'm the managing director of a non-for-profit association called LSEC. We call ourselves Digital Security Catalyst, and we have a specific focus, of course, on cybersecurity. But we work with many different companies, including security companies, on helping them to innovate with all of their security solutions. We've been around since about 2 decades, and what we aim to do is transfer the message through creating webinars and seminars, physical meetings. We have a number of online platforms, including a marketplace whereby we have more than 8,000 cybersecurity solutions on offer, where you can reach out to the different technology providers, and where we help you being guided a bit in what types of solutions are available. We have a specific series of activities towards the digital manufacturing space, and refocusing on this also during 2023. And we do quite a lot of market research and studies, analysis of the cybersecurity and the industrial space in terms of cybersecurity, both in Europe, in Belgium, in Flanders, and in other countries. So with this, we bring together both end users as well as cybersecurity technology providers and technology providers overall, and bringing those closer to market. So, for instance, with the platform that we have, the market intelligence platform, which you can access through the different websites that we have, this specific platform will allow you to find different types of solutions and technologies and capabilities. Beyond this, you will find a series of innovative actions, for instance, in terms of robotics, but for instance, where we're using cloud technologies, and we are investigating the capabilities of cloud technologies in order to support the industry of cybersecurity, and then specifically helping the cybersecurity industry using open technologies, cloud technologies, in order to improve and facilitate their own activities and business. We work with different types of artificial intelligence capabilities, and definitely also within the SecurIT activities and project, we found that this has been quite an interesting domain for innovation for cybersecurity and security companies. And so AI has been one of the more significant drivers for innovators in the space. So we have a number of open source toolings available here as well, and some use cases and best practices that we can facilitate. We use different types of encryption mechanisms in terms of supporting new capabilities for both end users as well as cybersecurity companies in order to better protect data, both personal data as well as industrial data, under the heading of computing on encrypted data, where we're using secure multi-party computation and homomorphic encryption. And we focus on innovating the supply chain by means of, in this case, for instance, the use of bill of materials and facilitating both companies developing software and hardware, as well as in companies which are utilizing these technologies to improve their own cybersecurity settings. With Apex, we are focusing on the development of automation and specifically the detection of potential threats. So posture analysis and automating the posture analysis of companies. So with all of these, we have quite a lot of technologies and capabilities available that we are supporting our companies with, and most of these different projects are also being done together with the cybersecurity innovators. So we are quite used to working with the industry in helping them to be innovative. We have different types of funding mechanisms. One called DigiHub, which is focused towards the companies in Flanders, where companies in Flanders that would like to innovate can reach out to us, and where we can help them in creating this, supported by the Flemish government and the European Commission. And with Digitalis, we support manufacturing companies in making the transition towards digital, for instance, also utilizing cybersecurity, of course, as a means to that end. So many different ways to help companies in simulating and stimulating their innovation. Which brings us also, of course, to the SecurIT activities, of which today's call is really all about. SecurIT is part of the INOSUB activities that we are doing together with a number of European partners, and where we have funds available, which are provided to us by the European Commission to fund basically innovative projects of 2 SMEs in Europe, which can get up to 88,000 euros. And for either a demonstrator project or a simple, maybe not so simple, but in any case, an innovative proof of concept type of activity. So with today's webinar, we would like to basically give you some indications on how this is going to work. The webinar will also be recorded and is being recorded and be distributed online. So that you and also maybe some of your colleagues can review it afterwards. It's basically the second open call that we do with some experience of the open call of last year, which we'll be sharing some results of. And as we mentioned, we'll be indicating a bit about the project itself, how it works, and what the means of it are, where we have a focus on, but also how to apply, and basically some tips and tricks on how to maybe get an interesting proposal out, because it will be reviewed by ourselves and by an external set of evaluators, and then through a jury of the SecurIT project itself. And thanks to one of the projects of last year, they can show a bit of the way that they approached the topics and the ideas, and also their experiences in applying, of course, for the funds. That project is called RASAD, and we'll have later on in this morning Tristan van Poeken from the company NOCODE-X will be talking about this in a couple of minutes. So in the first open call, we've selected 29 projects out of 111 applicants, so which we're representing more than 200 companies altogether. And from all of these different projects, we are seeing now how they are being developed, and we have been starting to mentor them, so which means that we are supporting them on a day-to-day basis, and also following up, of course, on their developments, making sure that within the next 12 months, or within, let's say in this case, the overall 12 months, I think there's like 8 months left still, that they will be able to provide both innovative projects on the concepts, or in terms of the prototypes, or in terms of demonstrators. So here's an overview of the different types of projects, and where we have stipulated some specifically on cybersecurity, like Cyber Trapper and CyberSec 2 SME, who will be presenting on the 30th of January webinar that we'll be organizing. A number of others like DIAC, Digital Forensics Lab, and IDEAS, also focusing on cybersecurity. In CIOTA and Kaleidoscope, focusing on cybersecurity, Kifa, And then, of course, also RASAD to be discussed a little bit later on. Together with our partners, which are represented in many different countries throughout Europe, mainly France, the Netherlands, Belgium, Denmark, and Lithuania, and Poland, where we have the partner funding box situated. We've started this project in 2021, and basically with the idea and together with the European Commission to support basically the innovation in three concrete domains: sensitive infrastructure protection, disaster resilience, and then the protection of public spaces or major events. So for these, more than 240 SMEs have applied, and where we have finally selected those 29 different projects that I've just shown. We have received applications from many different countries, also including from Belgium. Unfortunately, only 3%. So hopefully with this webinar and with a couple of others, we might be able to increase that number in the next, in the secondary open call. But of course, we welcome the partners and the participants from any other European country as well. Together with different ambassador clusters, we're promoting this, and also, of course, together with partners such as EXO and the Global Epic program, of which are our international partners, and which will be also distributing these concepts. So the different instruments that we have, the prototyping instrument will fund projects up to 74,000 euros, and then the demonstrator instrument up to 88,000 euros. The major difference between the two is basically that we would expect from the demonstrator instrument that it will supply and provide a working demonstrator, and it will also showcase this in a working environment, either an end user or an operating environment where it can actually be demonstrated at the end of the development project, so within the time frame of 1 year. We will be now selecting up to 21 projects, so which means that we need to have at least 42 different SMEs, because every project needs to consist out of at least 2 applying SMEs. There can be more, and you can also apply with other companies than SMEs or other organizations, but every project has to have at least 2 SMEs applying. Every project has to be finalized within a period of 12 months. It can be earlier, it can be sooner finalized, but 12 months is the maximum period of time. Per project can be funded only 60,000 maximum per SME, which means that one SME can receive up to 60,000, and then, for instance, in the demonstrator project, the other one can receive up to 28,000. Or you could easily spread and balance the funds per SME, and maybe even apply for different projects. Who are we looking for? We are looking for SMEs of both EU member states and then overseas countries and territories, namely, for instance, UK, Switzerland, Israel, as in those countries being also Horizon 2020 associated countries. At least one of the SMEs should be a technology company or an IT solution provider. And we don't accept any proposals where there is a link, so if you like, conflict of interest related to one of the partners in the consortiums. So do make sure that there's no links that can be demonstrated, or the proposals will be expelled in this case. Which ones are the ones that are not related? So that means no personal links or no capital links related to either one of the consortium partners can be participating. We do recommend that there is some experience in the project domain, which means that not only in the security or cybersecurity domain, but also in the domain where the demonstrator will be provided for. That will be helpful in any case in making a stronger case. What are the ideal types of projects? We're looking for those projects or developments of implementation of technology which are specifically related to challenges in domains of cybersecurity, digital applications applying to security solutions. So there's, if you can demonstrate that there are some gaps that can be filled with your specific solution, that will of course be much more beneficial. If you can also show that the developments can be implemented and tested in operational environments, that will also be much more beneficial. The minimum of the technology readiness level during the application phase is 5, and we expect you to increase the technology readiness level up to 6 or 7, or 8 or 9 when it comes to the demonstrator program. So which means that the final product needs to improve in terms of its innovation and its innovativeness, but also in terms of its demonstrability and go-to-market capabilities. So the different domains are being explained more in detail on the SecurIT-project website. But to give you some indications, of course, cybersecurity is part of sensitive infrastructure protection. But there's also other things like operations in terms of communication networks and alert systems, which is, of course, much more related to traditional security, physical security, if you like, related to, for instance, policing or physical security protection. Could also be related to identification and access control, or to perimeter protection. Or in the domains of disaster resilience. We've had in the previous open call some companies which have been applying for funding with solutions that they are currently developing in relation to detecting potential disasters from taking place, like landslide movements or maybe even flooding. So these types of sensory capabilities that then could prevent disasters from happening is definitely also something that we are interested in. Could also be after crisis or during crisis, like mass communications and warning systems, or in this case, for instance, also the combination of cyber and physical threats, for instance, for large public events, such as the Olympics in 2024. And then in this case, obviously also public spaces protection for major events. That could also be, in this case, support towards command and control or improvement of analysis centers. And as you can imagine, therefore, the better use of different types of AI technologies. So these types of solutions are is what we are looking technologies for and developments for, and preferentially that you will be able to demonstrate those in the whole process. So how will it work? The open call launched last week, the 10th of January, and will close on the March 14th at 5 p.m., which means that now you should be preparing the proposals. Best is to do that, obviously, when you have found one or more SME partners. And then you will start filling in an online submission form, which is on the SecurIT portal for at Fundingbox, at the website of Fundingbox. You can find the link on the SecurIT-project.eu website. So once the online submission has been completed, you can do that in different steps. So you can start the application process now, then save it, and then continue afterwards. After that's been completed, and we've received your final submission before the 5 p.m. on March 14th, we will start our evaluation process, which means that we'll be doing a set of pre-scorings and eligibility checks to see if all of the different components have been completed, and to see also whether there are some pre-qualifications that we've set up that you should be applying to. Once that's been done, after our pre-selection has been made, we will present your proposal to a set of external evaluators that will be reviewing a number of proposals. And in this case, there will be 2 independent evaluators, which don't have anything to do with the SecurIT project, that will be reviewing your proposal and then also making a scoring about the proposal that you've just submitted. After the pre-scoring, there will be an assessment, of course, about those who have received the highest scores, and a selection will be made with the, in this case, with the selection committee that will then also work together with some of the external evaluators to come up with a short list of the different proposals, which will then be selected and also contacted that they have been chosen for the next step. Those pre-selected ones during the selection committee will be going to the jury day, where the jury day will be taking its final selection on the basis of the proposals by the selection committee. Should in the jury day not be those pre-selected ones be selected, we'll be going back to the list of the selection committee and will be asking for additional companies that have been pre-selected. And then in the end, we'll be reaching the number of about 21 proposals or projects that we will select. And then after that, we'll be doing a discussion with the applicants, propose them for the financial support to third parties, the FSTP agreement. And after those have agreed, after then also the final legal checks, the project will be able to start, and then the 21 projects will be able to start. So there are a number of eligibility criteria. For instance, the conflict of interest situation. There will be a pre-scoring system that will be based upon a number of pre-selected criteria that will be weighing some of the answers. And then the awarding criteria will be based upon 3 main groups: excellence, impact, and implementation. And then we'll be giving a bonus for international consortia, which means that if you select a partner out of the same country, that's perfectly fine. But if you would select a partner, an SME partner, or multiple partners from beyond your own country, that will have a small bonus in this case. And then we'll also be looking into potential transversal criteria, such as potential impact on low carbon economy. Maybe there might be no impact at all, and then you're free, of course, to indicate that. But if there is, then we will be happy to hear about those. We'll be looking towards different dimensions in the proposal. There's, of course, the European dimension. If there will be applicants from outside of Europe and there will be only an impact on beyond Europe, but nothing internally in Europe, then of course that will be also taken into account. We will be checking also whether there's only going to be one proposal per SME and consortium. And if there might be more, only the last proposal which has been submitted will be evaluated to avoid, of course, multiple entries by the same consortium. We expect your applications to be received in English. We are investigating the financial health of the companies. So if you are a company in difficulties, and so please do check that in advance. We've provided you a link on this, so please do use that. But because if we do find that the company might be in difficulties, we'll be asking you to provide us with some additional information to clarify that situation. But if it continues to be in difficult situation, then you might not be eligible for the further application. And we would also like you to make sure that there's no conflicting situation in terms of IPRs. and so that the RPR that you have full right on or over, or that you can at least demonstrate how you will be able to obtain access to those IPRs. So in other words said, open source technologies are allowed, but you of course indicate how you will be implementing those and utilizing those in the environment. There will be some additional pre-scorings that will give you a slightly better final score in the pre-selection. For instance, if you can indicate that your solution has been developed by the context of by the concepts of security by design, in terms of its design principles, that will have a higher weight than those who have not taken that into account. If you indicate that you will be doing that, you will of course be asked to also provide some testimonial over this and to provide some proof been doing this. That can be the process itself, or that can be an indication of how you've applied specifically security by design. Also, we'll be focusing on companies that have a bit maybe of European projects experience, but we are more focusing on those companies who don't have yet funding from European projects in the past, and therefore, if you are a not so frequent participant in European projects, you'll probably have a slight advantage over the others. And then there's some others that you can see here in terms of scalability of the solution, so more the business impact and target market. We'll be also looking towards the composition of the consortium and the experience, of course, of the different partners. The different projects to be evaluated by the external independent evaluators will be independently giving their scores. And so we'll be bringing those scores together and then investigating how you will be scoring. And you can get up to 5 points in the domain of excellence, also in the domain of its impact and the way it's implemented. So do take care that you're not focusing only on the concept of the solution in terms of its excellence. Also focus on where the exact impact is going to happen. So if you can demonstrate that it's going to impact quite a number of, let's say, public organizations, but equally so SMEs in Europe, then that will have, of course, a better review than if the impact only happens into 1 or 2 single companies throughout Europe, which might have a serious result, of course, throughout their industry, but maybe not so much into Europe as a whole. So do take that into account. Also, in terms of implementation, do take care that you specify where you will be spending your activities on, where you have a specific difference in activities in terms of work packages, that we can understand which partner is going to do what exactly in the project, and that can also be evaluated and assessed. And of course, indicate how the project will be advancing. So indicate some milestones, indicate what we can expect as deliverables, as measurable outcomes of the project developments, and how it will be implemented, and how you might also be able to see some dependencies or potential risks coming out of the developments. So we'll be definitely watching over those different elements. We'll be investigating how you will be implementing this, how also you will take into account dependencies between different actions, where one partner might need to wait for another partner to join in, and therefore might have some difficulties maybe in terms of its development process, and therefore maybe also impacting the work to be done by the other partner. Also indicate specifically if you plan to work on a demonstrator, where exactly at what point in time you would be planning to implement the demonstrator in its execution in the whole process lifecycle. So all of these different elements will be taken into account and that will give 3 individual points ranked on total 15. And so that's where we will be investigating and resulting in. During the jury day, we will be selecting up to 40 projects, which will come out of the pre-selection. So those will be invited to participate on the online pitch, which will take basically for you just a couple of minutes to participate, because we'll have to review, in this case, maybe up to 40 projects. And so that means that in this case, you will have to sign in and do your pitch online, namely a couple of slides presenting your project and making your best proposal out there. Once you've seen this process, you basically have to go to the SecurIT-do.fundingbox.com website, as I mentioned before, where you might need to create a username specifically for the application, and then you start filling in the application according to the different forms. In the next series of these webinars on January 30th, we'll be taking a closer look into the form itself and showcasing you what is to be expected, and also giving some tips and tricks on how to complete it, because there will be maybe a maximum amount of characters that you can complete. And so you might use in combination an offline version that you then copy paste into the online format. Take into account that you cannot complete any images and stuff, so which makes it harder, of course, for the evaluators to review. But it allows you to be much more focused on the developments that you can put in. So with this, the couple of overviews on how the funding mechanism works. If your project gets funded, 1,000 euros of the budget is to be used for the grant for grant preparation and travel costs for the physical kickoff meeting, which will take place in Vilnius. And that will be happening a couple of weeks after the jury day, which will happen in the month of June. Based upon this, you will be therefore instructed on how to then go forward with the project implementation. But in this case, we have already funded your travel costs to come to the kickoff session. So do take some time. If you don't have a partner yet, we will actually be able to help you out there, both us as associations, as partners of the different clusters organizing this. So we have been able to provide you with an online catalog of different solution providers. There's about 100 of them available online already. As you've seen already in the earlier presentation I gave, there's also wider catalogs available on different solution providers, not all of them in this case being European or being SMEs, but there are more catalogs available. We will also be facilitating matchmaking sessions, one of them taking place already tomorrow. The day after tomorrow, January 18th. A link on this is provided on the website, both of the SecurIT-project as well as on our own website, the LSEC website. And so, and then there's another one going to take place early February. So where you as an applicant can sign up, you can fill in a short profile, and then you can reach out to other applicants to have a short discussion, to get to know each other, and maybe see if there's an interest in joining up and teaming up. Or you can, of course, be supported by us if you're looking for a partner, specific technologies, or with some specific expertise. So this is one of those matchmaking days, the one on January 18th. And so this one is happening in the morning. So please do join in this session and make sure that you can be visible. The sessions will be facilitated through this platform, and every interaction will last about 10 to 15 minutes max, where you basically can introduce yourselves, and then of course don't forget to exchange your email addresses to be able to follow up afterwards. The solution platform, we have different solutions already listed out in the catalog, which you can download from the SecurIT website. And this one will also be made available as an online catalog in the next coming weeks. So the online catalog to be released in February 23. Or you can contact, of course, us or one of the partners, or in this case, the project. So there's many different applicants or participants of the participation that you can relate to. With this, before going into the Q&A session, I would like to invite one of the Open Call 1 participants, in this case, to join in and present how they've been approaching the Open Call, and maybe also giving some ideas and suggestions on how they've been finding potential partners, and also in this case how to relate to potential innovations. Tristan, good morning. How are you doing?
Well, good morning, Ulrich. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. So as Ulrich mentioned, I am Tristan from the company NOCODE-X. And I will present to you our project with which we won the last open call from SecurIT, named RASAD. This RASAD stands for Rapid Security Application Platform. And well, we wanted to realize this project because we noticed a gap in the expectation and the reality of software development. And that I'll talk a little bit about that gap first. 50% of organizations demand operational excellence, which actually means that they need their operational process to run as smooth as possible and as efficient as possible. For them to pull this off, they will need to build end-to-end automation in a fast and affordable way. Organizations cannot longer sustain legacy software. Legacy software causes maintenance cost, performance issues, security issues. It causes talent to go away from the organization, or it causes talent to be less attracted to the organization. So they cannot longer sustain legacy software, and organizations always demand a shorter time to market. Getting software out there is ever so crucial, and it allows organizations to quickly learn and adapt their software, helping them to penetrate the market even better. And software development needs to be completed within a certain budget. Every software development project has a certain budget, and that actually causes a positive business case. And if that budget is exceeded, the projects risk to end up with a negative business case. And then we have a reality check. There is an extreme developer shortage at the moment, and it's not getting better. The demand for software developers expected to grow at a rate of 22% every year in the US, leading up to an expected shortage of 1.2 million developers by 2026. So that's actually a gap in expectations versus reality, because everything on the left side, to accomplish that, you will probably need a lot of developer resources. And then if we move further, we have some more gaps. Organizations demand high quality of the final product. More quality means more work, so you need more developers. Organizations demand the final product to be secure. Well, every day a new security breach is being discovered, or a new vulnerability is being discovered. So the need of secure software system has never been higher. Well, organizations that do not spend a lot of time making their product secure, they have a quite high risk of having a breach, and that can be devastating for an organization. lawmakers and users demand software to be compliant to privacy laws. And of course, lawmakers demand software to be compliant to business-specific compliance frameworks. And then if we get the reality check again, of course, everything on the left will need quite some developer resources, and there is a developer shortage. If you were to compare it to building a snowman, sadly, this could be the case where your expectation is a beautiful snowman, and the reality is something more in the lines of this. So, conclusion: there is a clear gap between expectation and reality in case of software development. And today we have a movement called the low-code and no-code movement. And this can actually bridge the gap for several parts of this expectation versus reality gap. It can help help organizations create end-to-end automation. It can help replace legacy software. It can help organizations to reach that faster time to market. It can help them to create software in a budget, and it helps them creating high quality software, mostly because of the high quality underlayer of the platform that they use. However, today's platforms are not mature in means of security. They have low security standards, and they do not help with privacy law compliance, and they don't help with any other business specific compliance as well. And if we look at the SecurIT domains, within all three domains of the SecurIT, probably the most important gaps to be fixed are, well, the security of the product, because all the three domains require a hefty kind of security, and of course the products have to be compliant to privacy laws and to business specific compliance frameworks. So that's in fact the three things that no-code and low-code solutions don't fix at the moment are probably the most important parts to be fixed for the SecurIT three domains. So no-code, low-code at the moment is not a suitable solution for these domains, at least at the moment, because that's what we wanted to do with RASAD. We wanted to create an application platform in which you can create secure applications. So it would be suitable for the three domains of SecurIT. And the company I am from, NOCODE-X, develops a no-code platform called NOCODE-X. And during the matchmaking sessions, we met up with some people of Wallix, and we got to know each other, and we had a match, let's say. So we had a match for our plan, and it's very interesting, the matchmaking sessions. It's a really intense day where you meet a lot of people, but it's really interesting and really an interesting way of meeting people you would otherwise never meet. And so I would really advise you to go to those matchmaking sessions. I think Ulrich said it was this Wednesday. So really go to there and have a chat with as many people as possible. So our no-code platform on the left, NOCODE-X, is a no-code application development platform. You have no need for setting up an infrastructure such as servers, databases, firewalls, development, test, accept, production suite, etc. You have the possibility to create up to 70% faster results than compared with traditional development. And you can easily create automation applications and APIs without writing a single line of code. It's a no-code platform, not a low-code platform. And you can connect any data source, any legacy application. It's really child's play to connect it. So, and NOCODE-X offers an out-of-the-box secure by design platform. That means the basic security is there out of the box. And then from the Wallix side, which is actually an identity and access management expert, they offer a product Trust LM, and that is identity access management as a service. They actually offer a central directory for all your identities, which you can hook up to AD, Azure AD, LDAP directories, and many more. And it allows you to provide a single sign-on experience to all your users, and offers multi-factor authentications to your users. So what we wanted to do is actually combine these two products and create a RASAD. So that's what we are doing right now. We're doing during the SecurIT project. We are combining NOCODE-X and Wallix, but we are adding some layers on top of that. Thanks to the SecurIT project, we can do that. So the first layer that we wanted to add is building custom user flows. So that can be everything from login flows to forgotten password flows to registration. We wanted to allow users or allow application developers to create that in a no-code way. Then we have data classification. Every data within a RASAD can be classified, so it can be tagged. In fact, for example, you can tag certain data. This is financial data, or this is medical data, and these classifications can be used later on to automatically enable some security measures. And one of those measures is the automatic encryption of sensitive data at rest. So, in fact, when you tag a certain part of a piece of data, for example, that it is medical data, the platform will decide automatically to encrypt this data when storing it in a data store. And then we have another security measure where we enable automatic auditing of access to sensitive data. So again, based on the data classification, we enable automatic auditing whenever a piece of data is being accessed or changed. And then the last layer of security we added, or we want to add, is the static no-code logic analysis for detecting leakage of sensitive data. This actually means that we are analyzing analyzing all the no-code logic within the applications created within RASAD, and we are detecting, in fact, whenever a piece of sensitive data is exposed without the correct authorization rules, and then we act upon it by, for example, blocking it or by just notifying the developers of the error in their application. So that all leads to a suitable no-code platform that can introduce cities and territories to rapid and secure application development. So this actually means that from this day onward, no-code and low-code, thanks to RASAD, is a possible platform for the 3 domains of SecurIT to use. If you have any questions, be sure to ask them in the chat now. If not, you can always mail to me or contact me through the website or LinkedIn. Voila.
Super. Thank you very much, Tristan, to give this testimonial. So maybe a couple of questions. Well, you've been highly positive about the matchmaking. How difficult did you find it for Codex to apply for the SecurIT project application for the Open Call one? Was it a lot of work? Did you need to do a lot of preparation work?
Well, yeah, of course, you have to do some preparation with regards to the project. You have to think the project through. You have to do some research about the benefits of the project. So that's a bit of work, but that's not work that you wouldn't do anyway. Normally, if you do something If you want to put something in the market, you have to do a little bit of a research if it's worth your while. So that is what the SecurIT grant actually forces you to do. So that's in fact well, positive in a sense.
And how did you go about in preparing, let's say, that proposal? Did you how many meetings did you have, for instance, together with Wallix in this case, to prepare all of this? Was it an intense period, or did you know each other already from the past? I didn't think so, from what you were explaining before.
No, we didn't know each other. We had some meetings to discuss how we were going about filling in the application. Of course, yeah, you get to know each other during that period, and then I think you have to decide for yourself how frequently you are going to meet up and discuss how you move forward. I think it's a bit up to the partners themselves to decide how frequently they meet up, and as long as you meet the deadline.
How long do you remember how long you've spent actually in the whole application process writing itself?
I vaguely remember. I think it's about we spent about a month. That does not mean that we took a month to write it, but the complete period that we took was about a month, I think.
Okay, so don't underestimate, let's say, the work that goes into preparing it.
Oh, and get it as clear as possible. I think if you get as much as information as possible, well, that's the only advice that I can give. In fact, yeah.
Did you use some external reviewers in the process of the application writing?
No.
And so in the I mean, you've mentioned the whole concept of RASAD, which is great, and we're looking, of course, forward to the results of the demonstrator. Two questions there to relate it. The demonstrator is, of course, expecting that you are at some point in time also presenting how it will be working, demonstrated. Mm-hmm. How is that going? Is that something that you found easy to do in terms of the works that you are doing within the company or companies in this case?
What do you mean, creating the demonstrator or having?
And also demonstrating the demonstrator.
Yeah, well, first of all, you need to find a partner which you can demonstrate for. You need some kind of commitment, and that's a bit difficult in our case because we had a partner. We lost that partner along the way because of a change of people within that organization. It's a bit difficult, but I think you should always be able to find a solution.
Yeah, I see it happening quite often in the different demonstrator projects. So I think it's really something to carefully consider. But of course, you cannot control if they're not directly involved as a partner. That's always a bit of a challenge.
No, but I think it comes down to clearly having some arrangements with that partner, and like clearly having a commitment of them, and yeah, and then everything can happen, of course, after that. But I think you need it before you actually apply. You have to have an organization that has commitment, that gives you the chance to build a demonstrator for them.
You mentioned the concept of well, I mean that's the core, of course, of NOCODE-X, use of no-code applications. That's quite revolutionary, definitely within the target market of the security environments, because those people tend to not have that much experience in terms of developments. How difficult did you find it to basically see that this is really applicable to this market as well?
Well, it's kind of well, before SecurIT, we were really trying to identify who we were in the no-code market. Let's say like that. We were really trying to find a way to differentiate ourselves with other no-code platforms. And thanks to this project, I think we really found a way, because of the research we did for the SecurIT project, we found out that there's a really clear gap in security in the no-code world. It's even the gap is this big that there is a specific OWASP top 10 list for no-code, low-code solutions with regards to, well, yeah, of course, security vulnerabilities. So that really helped us to find a way to differentiate ourselves within the ever-growing market of no-code platforms.
I think that's really great to see and to hear, and I do think that makes a lot of sense. But I think it might be difficult sometimes to convey that message in the world of security developers. How do you find it in working together today with your partner, with Wallix?
Yeah, we have monthly meetings, so we can just well, give a status update on the next steps. So working together really goes well. We are in fact a little bit ahead of schedule at the moment, so that's always positive. I think it's always nice to be a little bit of ahead of schedule, because you never know what's going to happen in the future. So what I would advise is to meet up at least monthly, to get even if not all partners are at the moment doing work for the project, it's better to meet up monthly and to give a status update, so everybody knows what's going on, and everybody knows what's the actually, if you're having trouble and another partner has to wait has to wait to activate some resources and stuff. It's interesting to get to work together that way.
Yeah, and I think it also helps you getting good results beyond just the funding, because there's of course the monetary aspect in the SecurIT project, but you can get probably much more out of it by working more closely together.
Yes, and that's maybe even more important than the grant itself, because by meeting up with people through the matchmaking sessions and through the entire project, you probably identify partnerships outside of SecurIT as well, and that opens up doors and gives opportunities.
Yeah, you talked about the monthly meetings. There's also the mentoring coming out of the SecurIT project. Is that in any way helpful for you?
Yes, because you get mentoring with regards to the project. So with regards to executing the project, for example, the moment we've lost our partner for which we can build a demonstrator for, the mentor we were assigned to by SecurIT is helping us at the moment to find a new demonstrating partner. But it doesn't stop there, because they help you with dissemination of the project as well. They really want to have the project succeed and have you succeed in the market. So that's really interesting, and that's really good to get that mentorship as well. Yes.
Superb. Were there any negative points that you remember in either during the application, during the jury, during the mentoring, any negative things that have happened that maybe people can relate to in terms of best practice?
Yeah, well, as I said, it's quite some work preparing. You have to do a lot of research. It's sometimes quite a lot of administrative work, but in hindsight, if you look back to it, it's all work that you should do anyway, and it's good to write it down. It's good to have to have a document with those ideas and those insights as well. So in hindsight, you might have experienced it that is a lot of work, a lot of administration, but it's all for the good, I think.
Superb. Hey Tristan, thank you very much to provide this testimonial, and I think the project looks very exciting. Also the collaboration. I'm sure you will be able to find additional demonstrative projects, and maybe also by this call, people will be interested in reaching out. So thank you very much for your time. Good luck with RASAD, with the project, and we'll be looking forward to seeing new applicants participating, new applicants joining in the Open Call 2. And hopefully you'll be meeting up with them somewhere next year when we bring together all of the different Open Call participants.
Okay, thank you, Ulrich.
Thank you, and to all of the Open Call participants out there interested and wanting to join in or to participate, if you still have additional questions, then do reach out to us. And looking forward to seeing many of you actively participating and contributing and seeking out with great new innovative solutions. Thank you very much. Have a nice day, and maybe see you again on January 30th, where we'll have 2 other testimonials, CyberTrapper and CyberSec2SME presenting here. Have a good day. Bye.